among these human realm beings, the beings of this human realm, we say intelligent, very precious, very clever, but still not good enough to understand which is the necessary engagement object for benefit of yourself and others. Still not enough understand necessary abandonment object for harming yourself and for harming to others. Because since after mother's birth until now, 99% is we looking something is towards to the outer, external materiality. And we're thinking about development stage, the civilization of materiality, mentions the external, the materiality. That is our aim, ordinary people's view. Always focus on the developing stage of the materiality, the external materiality, which is the five sense pleasures object. Always be chasing, to the of development stage of the five sense pleasures object, which is pleasures object of sound, smell, taste, contact, and tactile sensations, so forth. Of course, we need the external, the pleasures object, because depend to our five faculties. This human body with five faculties, but not that is the only the cause and conditions for fulfill your wish. The external development stage possessions can maybe make us happy and temporary moments, and the tiny or the contaminated enjoyment, but they cannot bring us the ultimate peace and the ultimate enjoyment, not. So therefore, very, very important, we need to know how to develop the mentality civilizations, mental spiritual qualities. We need to find inner peace from our heart, one's own heart, to find the inner peace from one's own heart. If somebody want to achieve state ultimate peace and you want to achieve state ultimate enjoyment, then you don't thinking the causes and conditions comes from outside. That's not possible. If you really want to realization the truth happiness and truth enjoyment, then you must be found the truth cause and truth conditions of your wish, which is from your heart, comes from one's own heart. Because our heart or our mind is as the root of both suffering, experiencings of suffering, and the experiencings of happiness. Because if you focus your mind day and night, the afflictive emotion, your mind is with others if the disturbing emotion mind, then will be performing, the negative emotion mind will be bring the result of suffering and unpleasant feelings. If you can cultivating your mind on the positive emotion, and then as it will be, performing, you will be experiencing by this positive emotion mind, happiness, ultimate happiness and ultimate enjoyment is coming. So very important to know how focus on the positive emotion, and very important to know how to avoid negative emotions, because negative emotion is as the actual causes of the negative action, which is killing, stealing, sexual misconduct are the three negative actions comes from our body. Lying, slander, harmful speech, and adult gossip. These four negative actions comes from mainly the door of our speech. And covetousness, harmful thought, and holding wrong views. These are the three negative actions mainly comes from door of our heart. So we have three doors. The negative action comes from three doors. Door of body, door of speech, and door of heart, performing the negative actions, 10. Actually, of course, the classify of the action negative, we cannot count aspect, how many difference, but in briefly, we can division into the 10 different kind negative actions. But why we have with this, the week was accumulating about 10 negative actions? Because as long as we have with this very strong disturbing emotion mind, then we cannot stop the negative actions. The negative action is composed or performed by our negative emotion. So therefore, we are suffering over and over. We have many obstacles, many problems, many worries, many panics, experiencing many different kind of panics, many different kind of suffering, sorrow, because karma, negative action. So therefore, if somebody wants to freedom from the obstacles, sufferings, panics, worries, and particularly modern times, we have the depression, the depression, the problems, very much. That means the worry about around many things. What we want, we couldn't get. Around us, many things we want to separate, but we couldn't. Then coming the worry, then panic, then uncomfortable feeling, and then pressure, as the feeling of the depression, the mental sick, mental ill is coming problem. This all is related from negative emotion. That is why it's disturbing emotion mind. Because disturbing for us, oneself and others, negative emotion is at the root of negative action. Negative action is as the direct cause of suffering. So therefore, if you agree freedom, we want freedom from suffering, then we must be try less and less. Will be less and less the negative actions. If you want to become more happy, more enjoy, and more peaceful, then we must be try to cultivating on the positive actions, which is the 10 virtues, the opposite of 10 negative actions. Important. But the 10 virtues also as a related from the positive emotion, the opposite of negative. Negative means like desire, attachment, anger or aversion, ignorance or confusing mind. That are the three, we said three poisons. Negative emotion of the three poisons. We said like poison, poisoning food. If you eat, no matter in the moment is a good taste or not, but after later then will be sick. The poisoning food, Similarly, something if you're wrong, the motivation with the negative emotion, then no matter in the moment you're happy or not, but sooner or later will be performing the sufferings, unpleasant feelings and the panics, so on. So therefore, we must be try as much can cultivating on the positive emotion, because that will be bring positive actions. That will be bring and the happiness, the result of everybody experiencing of happiness and enjoyment. So in this way now, what is the positive emotion? In briefly, you can say wisdom and compassion. That is the essence of the positive emotion.